more than to myself. And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighted to honor, let the royal apparel be brought which the king useth to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man without whom the king delighted to honor the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighteth to honor. Then the king's horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew, that sitteth on the king's gate, let nothing fall of all that thou hast commanded the apparel and the horse, and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on horseback through the streets of the city, and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be to the king's gate. But Haman hasted to his house mourning, and having his head cut, but shall surely fall before him. And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's Chabalians, and hasted to said again unto Esther on the second day of the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is that? If I have found favor in thy sight, O king, please the king, let my life be given me at the petition, and my people at my request. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But we had been sold for bondmen and damage. And the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he, and where is he that does presume in his heart to do so? And Esther said, the adversary is this wicked Haman. Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. And the king, rising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to request for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that the Haman was falling upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then the king, will you force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for one king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified. Chapter 8. On that day did the king Ahasuerus took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman. And Esther spake yet again to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagites, and his device that he had devised against the Jews. Then the king held out the golden scepter toward him right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, as the letters devised by Haman the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews, which are in all the king's provinces, hanged upon the gallows, who, because he laid his hand upon the Jews, write ye also for the Jews as it liketh you. In the king's name, and sealed with the king's ring, may no man reverse. Then when the king's scribe called at that time in the 3rd month, that is the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof, and it was written according to all Mordecai commanded unto Jews, and to the lieutenants, and to the deputies, and to the rulers of the provinces, which are before us, wherein the king granted the Jews, which were in every city, to gather themselves together, and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to show the power of the people and the province that would assault them, both little ones and women, and to spoil of them for a prey. Upon one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all peoples, and that the Jews should be ready and appraised on by the king's commandment. And the decree was given at Shushan the palace, and Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple.